Hello everyone, good afternoon and welcome to a new episode of Get Response Live. In Get Response Live, every week we share content, knowledge, experiences with Power BI and the broader Power Platform. And today we have a very nice topic because we're going to discuss a brand new external tool called Measure Killer. I really like the name. And Gregor and Klaus, you already see them. I'm gonna introduce what it is and what's new also, because they also have some updates. So I'm very much looking forward to it. Hope you are also. And if you want to know more about Power BI and Power Apps and Automate, then consider subscribing to our YouTube or LinkedIn channels. So welcome to today's show. So, hello Gregor and Klaus. Welcome.
Hi.
Hello.
Thank you. Hello.
Gregor, can you, before we start, give a short introduction on what you do and who you are? What is your involvement in Power BI?
Sure.
Yeah.
My name is Gregor Brunner. I'm originally from Austria, but moved to Switzerland a little more than 2 years ago. And I also started my own company focusing on Power BI development around 3 years ago. Basically we're doing Power BI development. We're 5 people. And that's it basically.
Cool. And you, create nice solutions, which one of them we're gonna see. And Klaus, you're also part of Brunner BI, right?
Yes, I am. I'm originally from Brazil, and I moved to Austria to work in Brunner BI, and I'm currently working as a senior Power BI developer.
Great. And if you're watching, you can always ask your question during the whole session via the comments in YouTube or LinkedIn. So please feel free to ask your questions and let's make it interactive. Because we're going to talk about Measure Killer. And Gregor, what in 2 sentences, what is Measure Killer? What's the value of Measure Killer?
Well, the measure killer is killing measures, right? For fun. And it was a funny name that I think Martin, another guy in our team, he came up with this. Measure killer is basically helping you to clean up your Power BI model, but it also documents all the artifacts, where you use your measures and columns. It does a lot of things, but I think the main use case is really to tell you which part of your data model, which columns or which measures you don't really need. And about 6 months ago, actually, we had an implementation project in Austria at a larger company, and we had a problem with the current tools that you can use for these things. And then I think, Klaus, you said you want to try it out to build your own or something.
Exactly. It started more like an internal thing, right?
Yeah.
We only wanted to write a script for ourselves, but it started getting pretty interesting.
Yeah. And why did you create it? Was the model not performing, or what was the main reason to do this? Because what does it matter if you have a couple of extra columns or measures?
Actually, I mean, that's basically what I said now is the main use case. But for us, it was something else. It was we had a client who they put all their measures in one centralized data set, and then they had a couple of reports basically. And at the end, they didn't know anymore which measures they actually needed. And like I said, the current tools available didn't really work for that. We had some problems, and that's why we said, hey, let's try and see if we can take a shot and maybe build something better. And it was not that serious at the beginning. I think it took some weeks, and you just played around with it a couple of hours per week or something. But then I think really quickly, Klaus made a lot of progress, and we thought, okay, we're almost where the other tools are, even though we didn't invest so much time yet. And then it just grew from there over the last few months.
Yeah.
It just
Cool.
went crazy.
Shall we just dive into an example and see how it looks, how it works? And Klaus, can I share your screen because you have a dashboard open, I see.
Yes.
Is that something we can start with? Yeah, I will add your screen. We see here a sales dashboard. Can you take us through it? Now, how does Measure Killer work, or where do you start?
Well, after installing, of course, you can see Measure Killer here in the External Tools tab, and you open it up. I have it open already.
Mm-hmm.
And if you open using the External Tools tab, you will see that the port, the local host, the server is already there. You don't have to choose. So it's we designed it to be very, very simple to use. Of course, there is still some issues to fix. But yeah, it's basically just click on execute. And here you can see
you're getting
that
closer to the version 1.0, I see. Because a
So
couple of weeks ago it
currently,
was 0.8 and now it's 0.9, I see.
yes, exactly. So it's basically 0.9 is almost finished. We'll also have some announcements towards the end of the streaming for some really exciting new features. But for now, we just want to show the current 0.9 or the bug fixes and everything we did in 0.9, small improvements.
Yeah. Sorry, Klaus, please continue. So I see here where you're going to execute. What are you going to execute here?
now you have to select the Power BI file. And with this file, of course, this is the latest files you open in your PC. So you have to be careful to choose the right one here. And once you choose the right one, you just click on Run. And this little message box will appear saying, are you sure this is the right report? And then you click, of course, yes.
Because we had some,
No, please, Greg.
No, I just wanted to say that we had some people who, by accident, selected a wrong report, and it was not the one they have open, and then it didn't work. We had some errors, and so that's why we just built this safety in there to basically confirm.
And what did it do here? Because I see a whole list.
So this is Measure Killer working. We can see some a report with what Measure Killer is doing, what Measure Killer is analyzing, and of course there is a progress bar. This is a very small report, a simple report, so it's fast.
And it's
basically, you can close this.
It's basically analyzing the report, it's analyzing the data model, it's going through all the artifacts, and it's evaluating whether you use a column somewhere in your report or not.
Yeah.
Now we have our table on the right side, and we can expand every artifact and see where it's used. So for example, customer key is used in a relationship, using measures as well. The red ones are the unused artifacts. So we have some samples here. And now basically what you can do is remove all of the unused measures and columns. If I click on kill unused measures, you can kill all of them, killing meaning removing, or you can select the measures, then it will be prompt to select the measures and remove them. Then you can kill the selected or select all and kill them. There is a third option where you can generate a C# script. This is our older method of removing the measures, which is simpler. Then you can just copy and paste it in Tableau Editor using this little button here, or you can select and use the Ctrl+C buttons to copy.
But if you pick one of the other options, will it then edit the PBIX? Is that what you're saying? And then it will remove it from the PBIX file?
No, it will remove from the model itself. If I click, for example, in kill all unused measures, Tableau Killer will appear. This is basically a C# script we created. And after it will run Measure Killer again, and then you can see that the measures have been removed. There's no other measures. Unfortunately, we cannot remove columns like this using a C# script.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we can programmatically remove measures like you also do in Tableau Editor using a C# script. And originally we generated this script and then you had to plug it into Tableau Editor. And now we can also do it from within Measure Killer through this tabular killer process, basically. Mm-hmm. And the unused columns, you still have to remove them by hand. Maybe you can just show it, Klaus, because I mean, it's not that manual. You can, first of all, here in the drop-down, when you select a table where you're going to remove those measures, it's ranked by the size of the table because you want to remove the most costly ones first, I guess, or at least that's the top priority most of the time. And you can just copy-paste this thing into Power Query, and it will add, you can see at the end, it's adding one-step columns removed by Measure Killer. We can just take a look at this maybe. It's also a little safer maybe because then you still have full control over what's happening. You can even go back, right? Because even if we replace this script here, it's just adding one step. And you can see now at the end, table, remove columns, whatever. Yeah. And and then you can even also remove this step at the end if you're not comfortable removing that.
Let me just, I think I missed the users here. Yeah.
So to create the full Power Query, the M code, including lines, to remove the columns.
Yes, it's adding basically one.
Yeah.
It's adding one step at the end. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. You can close just close the window for a second.
Just we'll choose another one.
Yeah. Anyway, maybe we can just show.
Oh, yeah. I already removed it.
Here we go. And now you can see it has this new step here, right? It just removed one column, and there's always a way to go back. Just yes.
Yeah, clear. Wow, that's nice. And so what are, when do you need this? And because I'm a little bit triggered by what you said at the beginning, that it started that there was a data set used by multiple reports. So this is for an individual file, it seems, because you picked at the beginning a PBIX.
Yes.
How would that work? How do you then scan multiple files on a central data set?
That is a big challenge. And nobody has solved this as far as I know. And the feedback that we got for version 0.8 was that, oh yeah, it's good. People liked it. Okay, it's more user-friendly than maybe other tools, or it can do some things differently. But in the end, the really cool thing to analyze the live report or shared data sets, whatever you call it, that would be nice, right? And that's what we have been working on, actually. And it seems like we have solved it.
Really?
So, we can also show you. Maybe we can, I just want to maybe make this case a little bit and show the people watching what the point is of this. So I'm just going to share my my PowerBI tenant.
Oh yeah, I will share your screen. Yeah.
So imagine we have one centralized data set, right? And in this case, it's like a weather data set, and assuming multiple people have built various reports based on this weather data set. Somebody built like a temperature report, and it's like a map, and you can see the world temperature, for example. And then some other people built something about basically rain or whatever. It's a centralized data set. People build their own reports based on this. And then the IT or whoever is managing it, the admin, has this data set and wants to know if the size of this data set and all the artifacts it includes are actually needed. And maybe they want to clean up their tenant and do that. And that was not possible until now, and it was really a challenge. And that's something we have solved now, and we actually want to show you.
Is this the time for my for the
Yes.
announcement? Yeah. Okay. Here it comes.
World premiere.
Because you solved it. Now, show us.
Yes.
How does it work?
Klaus, do you want to share your screen?
Yeah, I can do that.
Please.
Let me know when I can.
I have a lot to moderate today. Oh, yeah. Apologies.
So I have it installed.
Yeah.
I have Measure Killer
your screen
installed here.
again. Yeah.
And
so
here
this
we
is
have.
This is the new window. When you open Measure Killer, you have multiple options, right? You don't have single report and dataset only anymore. You also have this new thing, shared datasets or live reports.
Now let's see. Yeah.
Now I can choose between online and offline.
What is the
online,
difference? Exactly. Sorry.
Offline, you have to have all the Power BI files on your machine, and you have to open the original file from the data set first. I will choose that one first because it's more simpler to explain. So here we have some instructions. I walk you through it. I'll click OK. Now we have to open the data set. See, I have 2 reports open right now. I have the weather data set. I will close our sales overview, our sales report. Do not save. Now I only have the weather data set. This data set is published to our tenant. So I will refresh it to be sure which one is the right one. I will select the local host and I will click next. Now I will have to first add the dataset original file. So I have the dataset here. I will choose this one. Now we can see that the ID is the dataset. It's just to help the user to see that the first one in the offline option must be the dataset file. Now I will just click on add new file just to show you that all of the other reports are in the live reports folder.
So basically in this offline version, the user has to have the dataset downloaded to the computer and all the live reports. And then Measure Killer can analyze all of them together.
Exactly. Once selected, all the reports, you can see the path and the report name here. I will submit, and the Measure Killer main UI will appear, the main window. And I can now click, if I made a mistake here, I can edit the report list. Or if everything is correct, you can see that there is a prompt saying which reports I just selected. After that, I just click on execute and Measure Killer will run normally, and it will show what we have used and not used. So now we have some different reports here, as you can see.
We can see all the artifacts from the weather dataset, but then there are also measures that only exist in the live reports, right? And that's when it says report rain or temperature.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Exactly. The data set is the original data set, and you can create measures in live reports. You cannot create columns, but you can add measures. And we are appending all of them in this single report and analyzing all the reports that are connected to that data set in particular. And you can, of course, expand. And once you expand, you will see where this measure or column is used in. So it's used in a clustered column chart. Which report? The rain report. It's the category. The type is others. This is just where is it used, and others means other visual elements like titles or I don't know, everything that is not y-axis, x-axis.
Filters also, I heard that also the filters are being checked.
Yes, everything is being checked.
If a column, mostly for a column probably.
Yeah, we have not really found any part of the report yet that we're missing out. I mean, of course, we're getting some feedback from the community, but I'm guessing there is something. What we built in so far through feedback from the community was, for example, columns only used in incremental refresh. That we missed with the very first version. And one other thing, do you remember, Klaus? What was the second?
Yes, references. Sorry about that. Yes. References.
Yeah, in PowerPoint specific use case. Yeah. But here you can
minor, so 99% of the model is done. Also, if you do conditional formatting, for example, based on that only the column is used in conditional formatting. Wow.
We also tested custom visuals.
Yeah, cool.
We had a huge problem with Power Query references. If you use a column in one single you reference a table, a query, and then you will use just in Power Query to filter another query. It's a really specific case, but we solved that already. So yeah, our biggest fear was false negatives, meaning that we are saying that it's not used, but it's actually used. And once you delete it or remove it, the report will basically break. So that's was a huge problem for us. And we haven't found anything like that in a while now.
How many people are now using this, Gregor? How are you now currently? Well, it's version 0.9. It's available for free at the moment, although you're also working on that, I believe. But how many people are now using it?
We don't know exactly. We're not tracking the download numbers. The only thing I can see is that around 100 people have downloaded from the Microsoft Store, because also we published it there. So I'm guessing a few hundred maybe downloaded also through our website. Yeah, something like that.
Great. It's amazing, right? That you first think of for something you use for a customer, and then it becomes a product. That must be a strange process, or strange, but a nice process, right?
I mean, 6 months ago, we never imagined that we could publish or develop an external tool. Like, there was no point of doing this, but everything happened quickly, and we're getting some really good feedback.
Yeah, and also see in the comments already some people that say that really like it. So Sanjeev is saying awesome tool, great time saver. Kia Helme, I hope I pronounced your name a little bit right. Incredible. And Luc, who I know from Belgium, who's also doing very much for the Belgium Power BI community, is also going to use it for sure. So maybe Luc, you can also spread the word in Belgium. So thanks all. I get also, for the first time ever, I get some spam in my YouTube comments. That's nice. That is for then we know that we're on the right track, right? If you get spam in your
you're being found.
comments. Yeah. I'm found by the spammers. Yay.
Yeah. So this 0.9 version is not out yet, right? We're just finalizing the development. It's like an early sneak peek. And probably next week we'll be able to publish this.
Next week already.
And if I can just share my screen quickly, because on our website, so MeasureKill is still in beta, and we're looking for feedback from everyone. And I hope you can see my screen. Yeah,
I can see it. Yeah, I shared it. Yeah.
So those are just the basic features, and here we also had some limitations, right? We had no connection to live reports, and this is gonna go away with the next version, of course. This will stay for architectural reasons. This is also something that needs to stay, which is not a big problem, I think. And those two limitations here we'll be able to get rid of with the 0.9 as well. Those were like some smaller bugs or problems we had to deal with, and those will go away. So then we'll have a really good version, I think.
Yeah.
And so about
especially the one that I read about columns that have the same name but the different tables. I think that's it's a major improvement, I think, because that of course can happen.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's a nice one. Yeah.
That was quite a limitation. Yeah, like I said, it's available in the Microsoft Store, but it's gonna be this version 0.8. We also haven't done the code signing, code validation yet. So when you install it, you also might get some triggers. Do you trust this publisher? Things like this.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Still
and then you have to ignore. Yeah.
Exactly. Still kind of early, everything. But what our plan is to build basically two versions, or at least two versions. So the basic version of Measure Killer will stay a free version, but then when you want to analyze also live reports, we're currently thinking about making this a paid feature, and we're just exploring the possibilities there.
Yeah.
And what we can guarantee, though, that it will be free for some time, the whole tool, including all the features, because we still need to get more feedback. So until at least the end of the year, the whole package with all the functionality will be free for everyone.
Yeah, but you're spending a lot of time on this to improve it and to make it. So I think it makes sense that you have also some premium features. I get a question from Luke that I want to share with you, because I think it's a good question. Because you're mentioning versions. So how would it work if you update a new version? Do I first have to uninstall something, or is it automatically applied, or what do you need to do to update it? So,
currently, you unfortunately you have to delete the previous version, but it's supposed to be very fast, and we will be working on solving that issue soon.
Yeah.
So you uninstall the old one, install the new one, and that's it.
Yes.
And then it works. Okay. Now, thank you for your question, Luke. Good question. So if you're also watching this and you also have questions, or do you want to challenge Gregor and Klaus, and what about this and what about that? Then please share your question in the comments, because then we can discuss it. And because Klaus, you said something very interesting also when we pre-discussed this. What is it based on? What's the coding based on of this solution?
Oh, we wrote it basically everything in Python.
Yeah, right.
99% of the code is in Python, and a small amount is C#. It's just connects better with the analysis services. That actually the tabular killer is written in C#.
Yeah,
and using it's way simpler to do that in C#, and then I can remove the measures and not use Tableau Editor for that.
Yeah. Did you already reach out to Tableau Editor creators?
I actually talked with Daniel yesterday.
Sorry, what did you say, Gregor?
You mean for integrating Tableau Editor and Measure Killer somehow, or
the other way around?
Yeah, not really. I talked about something else with Daniel Otikir the other day, but maybe there is something. I mean, Tableau Editor is here, and we're just getting started.
Yeah, exactly.
We're by far not on the same level. Let's be realistic here. But we're of course ambitious, and we want to really provide a good tool for the community, and we hope that people like it and want to use it.
Yeah, it's a relatively new tool, and therefore also really appreciated that you want to show it. And it's also about the community, all these external tools, and give suggestions. Also, Tableau Editor 0.1 probably had some improvement, space for improvement. So I see it like this, and as long as you keep involving everyone, why not? It can. We talked about it before, when I asked you about what's the value? So now it makes sense. What's not used? It's only burdening your models. But is it indeed also for your performance? You think an impact or?
Definitely. I mean, if you make your model smaller, it will have an impact on performance. Of course, it depends how big that impact is. But sometimes you can remove columns that are taking 80-90% of your model size, because you thought they were used, but maybe they're not.
Yeah.
And so maybe something also we can take a look at, if Klaus can share his screen, is the report analysis that you get through Measure Killer. It's not only about deleting measures and columns, it's also about the documentation that Measure Killer is generating for you for a report. And that's, we also got some feedback from people that they're actually also mainly using it for this. And we built two different versions for this. And you can see here that it will generate an Excel file. And what is the difference between those two options? Basically, this clustered thing means that you have one row per artifact, like one measure will be clustered into one row every place where it's used. So if you're using it in 20 different areas, it will be all together in one column. And the row by row one will basically create 20 rows for this one measure and make it easier to organize. And you could even, if you have a crazy big report, you could build a Power BI report based on this Excel documentation.
Sure. Yeah.
And
why not?
Some people really like it just for this, because it's a easy way to figure out where you're using what, and you can even see the DAX expression of the measure. You can see a lot of things. Klaus is showing it now.
Maybe you could use it for documentation, or if you gonna change some field and you want to see the impact of it, maybe.
Exactly.
You know where it is being used, this column or this measure.
Yeah, you can see the size, right? We even have the column size here. You can sort, you can filter. Especially for more complex reports, or also if you inherit a report from somebody else in your organization and you don't really know yet which things you need or where what is used. It's a good thing maybe for you.
It's more detailed than our table, but I think the table gives a good overview, but the report is raw. It has everything basically.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah. Now I'm quite impressed. I don't know how you do this, but it looks very impressive. And I think you know, it's I think it's worthwhile to check it out if you're creating Power BI dashboards, to just try it out, how it helps you, and to clean up your model, to make it really
sorry to interrupt.
Optimize it. Yeah. Go ahead.
Could we
Klaus.
show maybe the online option? It's my favorite so far.
Please.
Because in bigger organizations, at least our thinking is that some people maybe cannot download some of the data sets, or it has some kind of data governance implications, right? And that's why we also built a version or a function here to analyze a data set that is in the Power BI service without downloading it. And for that, you just need to enter your workspace name where this data set is residing. And in our case, it's just Measure Killer. The workspace is called Measure Killer. And you can just type it in. If you make a mistake or something, exactly, and you click on connect, it will just generate an error. You can see now that it's not going to work, right? But if you put in the correct workspace name, it will find this workspace in your tenant. Of course, it's just called Measure Killer in our case. So if we put it in correctly, and then it triggers this authentication through the Microsoft account, it will be able to connect. And we can see now that it worked, and it's automatically selecting one of the data sets or reports there. And then you click on next. And then you just need to have the live reports. The live reports we cannot get from the service right now, so you need to download them. But generally, that shouldn't be a problem because they don't contain any data anyway. Of course, if you have like 50 or something, it might take some time to download them, or it might be a hassle. We're aware of this, and also, of course, trying to fix this in a later release. And then you can analyze it.
That is the same as we just saw.
Exactly.
From this one, it's the same process. Yeah.
And the good
Cool.
thing is here that Measure Killer never downloads or analyzes any of the actual data in that data set. It's only taking the metadata. So you're not sharing any information regarding the actual, maybe it's sensitive information, right, with Measure Killer. It's only looking at the column names, stuff like that.
Okay, that's a good thing to add indeed. Yeah, that's also an important, of course. Yeah. So now, yeah, I think everyone is very wowed by this tool because they're quite quiet. So if you're watching, please ask your questions. We're only live for another 5 minutes or so. So take your opportunity now.
Maybe we can show some of the buttons in the UI, Klaus, that we have not taken a look at. So maybe the plot would be something. It's, I mean, in terms of data visualization, is nowhere close to Power BI, but this is basically just gives you a quick overview of how many columns you have that are used and unused, right? And measures as well. And then we just added some new buttons to the UI, like you can search for artifacts in this little search field on the right. If you're looking for something specific, right? You don't, I mean, imagine you have like so many measures and stuff. You can just search for this. This didn't exist in the 0.8. You can filter a little bit here. Just small things, basically.
Yeah, that's very handy additions, and So where do you see this? Where do you see this ending, Gregor? Because you're now so you're improving. Where do you ultimately want to go? No,
Let's see. I'm curious to find out.
That's the best answer, right? Let's see.
So far, it has also self-developed in a way, the direction. And of course, we also appreciate every feedback we're getting from the community. I think we have answered every question there was. We're trying to channel all the feedback on our website. There's a blog post about Measure Killer on our website where we're trying to gather all the feedback together and also generate some kind of knowledge base. Exactly here. And
so if people have ideas, they can submit them and think with you on how to improve it. Cloud source, that's the name, right? That's very cool. So thank you very much for sharing this. I think we covered the most important elements, and we even had a world premiere. So I'm always very happy with that. Finally, I could dust off my feet with a little animation for that. So appreciate that. Thank you very much for all the for the great demo and all the answers. And I really appreciate it that you wanted to join. And if you're watching this and you think, well, I also have something cool to share, then please feel free to contact me. So you can just find me on LinkedIn, or maybe that's the best way, or leave a comment in the comments if you want to join, because we're always looking for new cool features and ideas, etc. So thank you very much. Next Thursday, it's the last Thursday of the month already again. So that means that we always have it about dashboard design. So together with Lonneke, my co-host, it's called Design Donderdag. Yeah, that's Design Thursday. We talk about dashboard design. And also there, if you have cool dashboards to share with me or Lonneke, then feel free to send us them, because we're going to discuss, okay, this is what we like, this is what we further can improve maybe, and we learn from each other. That's basically what we do every episode. So thank you very much, Gregor and Klaus. Thank you for joining, and thank you for watching, and have a nice day, and maybe see you next week. Bye. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Thank you for having us.
Bye.